Hi everyone, my name is Garnette O'Connell. My adventures that happen, I finally know someone who can get those into books. Her name is Allison. I've always wanted to get my adventures written in books, and now that I know Allison, she can do that for me. She's going to be doing a book reading. It's part of a series called The Adventures of a Mermaid, and the book she's reading this time is called The Rat Prophecy. This is part 8. I am so excited, everyone. So glad that we are reading The Rat Prophecy. I apologize if there are any voices in the background. People are impatiently waiting for the elevator. It's insane. It's early in the week for me, and because it's basically Halloween day, the day I'm recording this, and people are frustrated because our new elevator is supposed to be working along with the buttons, and I think it's moving a little slow. Don't understand why. Gosh dang it. I'm losing everything! Okay, so it's been well over a week since I've read The Rat Prophecy. It's been 2 weeks. 1 week I was finishing Ashlyn's Dream Come True, and I'm really sad that's over, but I'm also really glad that I did it, just because it's been years since I've gone over it, and it's changed quite a bit if you hadn't noticed. Ashlyn's Dream Come True is basically a Cinderella story, but I tweaked it to have it my own spin, get my own little spin on there, as well as have like a little modern twist to it. Sort of a modern twist. It's kind of in between of modern and olden times. You'll get what I mean. If you want to understand what I mean, check it out. It's a really good book. But you're tuning in to watch and or listen to me read The Rat Prophecy. It's a book. It's a sequel to Aquatica. And we're basically like trying to find out what's going on with Garnette, why she's in some sort of funk and pessimistic. And she's actually trying to be responsible for her actions and stuff like that. But it's so hard because she's trying to balance both her land life and her water life. It's really frustrating, and she's trying to balance that, as well as introducing a woman who's been a mermaid almost her entire life that has never been to Aquatica. What? So what happened in the previous reading, we learned that Ariel was not born a mermaid. She was actually spelled to get a tail by her adopted parents. And then and the way she found out about that was volunteering to look at the iridescent swirls of Miss Darla's cove, Miss Darla's walls, which had the iridescent swirls. It enchants people to fall asleep and face their fears, whether it be land or water or anything of that. No matter what fear it is, they have to go through with it. They either die in their sleep, not conquering that fear, or they conquer that fear and they're able to go on with their lives, not having to be afraid of it anymore, per se. But anyways, we ended she also found out, because of this volunteering, she also found out that she believes that she caused her parents to die because they died in a car crash, and yet she didn't. It scares her to heck, and she wishes it didn't happen. Because basically, it kind of was her fault, because they weren't looking at the road. They were looking at her because she was finally getting the results of the spell that they had cast on her to get those mermaid legs. It's really sad, actually. And Garnette was there when she wakes up, and she kind of gives a rude interruption of it, asking her if she wants to go on land to stay with someone. And we're about to find out how she feels about that. So let's go ahead and read, shall we? Ariel? Garnette sounded nervous. Her friend looked at her. I don't mean to put any pressure, but if you want to go to the mainland before sunset, we gotta go now. The mainland? She scoffed. Why? I'm so tired of sleeping in tubs and public pools. I just want to stay here. I wouldn't mind the company, Darla said, turning to Garnette. I have a better idea, and I think our friends would jump up and down when I tell them. Ariel eyed her. What do you mean? I need a shell. I'd like to ask them instead of dropping the idea in their palms. Darla smiled. She swarmed and looked in a pile of shells near her kitchen. The psychic smiled as she picked a colorful one. She swam back to them. Try this one, she said, giving her the shell. Garnette giggled. She put it against her ear and spoke into it. Hello? Can anyone hear me? The shell on the other end vibrated as bubbling sounds came through. This particular shell was inside a bird bath in the front yard. Kelly dug some tiger lilies to transfer them. She heard bubbling near her and glanced around. Kelly saw bubbles in the bird bath she had. She stood and walked to it to get a better look. That's when she saw a shell in the water. She chuckled before looking around. After picking up the shell, she walked inside her house. Kelly then placed the shell against her ear. Clever idea, Garnette. A shell in the bird bath? Garnette giggled once more. I thought it would add color to the stone. Listen, I have something to ask. Shoot. Since the sunset is getting close, I was wondering if Ariel could stay at our place? Our place? You mean my house? My house? She squeaked. Of course! Jessie and I have been trying to get her to come over. She grinned. It's a good thing we had the pool installed. We never imagined meeting mermaids. Now, if I can get Ariel out of the ocean, we should be there soon. I think she's enjoying her time in Aquatica. She eyed her friend. Ariel rolled her eyes playfully. I'll see you tonight, Kelly. She then gave the shell back to Darla. Garnette turned to her friend. So what do you think, Ariel? She grew worried to see a scared expression on Ariel's face. She bit her lip. Kelly? As in Kelly and Jessie? Ariel shook her head. You don't think, do you, Garnette? What do you mean? Darla made a face. She didn't need a premonition to see where this was going. You know how long I've been a mermaid. I have held this mermaid secret for just as long. She gulped and whimpered. No one but my boss and 2 of my coworkers knows who I am. And now Kelly and Jessie know. You can't keep a secret for more than a few hours. Who else have you told? How can I trust you? Ariel gave her a look. Garnette frowned as she bit her lower lip again. Ariel turned and swam off. Ariel, wait! Garnette looked at her. She sighed, understanding the psychic's look. I know, let her think. Still, it wouldn't hurt to go after her. Those sharks are inching closer every month. Garnette gasped and went after her friend. She swam to areas she had seen Ariel admiring. She couldn't find her. Garnette thought for a moment. Where else could she be where sharks had been spotted? She snapped her fingers as she remembered more areas. The princess swam everywhere, even close to the beach. She surfaced when she reached the big pile of rocks. Where could she be? She whispered. She looked toward the sun. It was getting close to the horizon. She knew she had to hurry if Ariel was to spend the night at Kelly and Jessie's house. Garnette then gasped as she realized something. I almost forgot about the cave, she whispered. She went back down and swam to the underwater cave she found when she first became a mermaid. The princess found the entrance easily, as well as Ariel. She was curled up against the wall. Garnette winced. She glanced around. Ariel jumped and looked at her as her friend spoke. I should have known you would come here. What What do you mean? She whispered, rubbing her eyes. I found this place the day I became a mermaid. I used it somewhat as a refuge. Garnette paused. I come here now and then to think. Sometimes it helps. She eyed the tunnel before looking at Ariel. She sighed. Before I found this cave, I knew my aunt and cousin as my mother and sister. Ariel's curiosity peaked as her hurt and anger subsided. I don't understand. My aunt raised me as her own. She didn't tell me about my mother at all. I grew up thinking Aunt Kelly was my mother. Ariel widened her eyes. Why didn't she tell you? She was protecting me. She thought Mom had died, when she really didn't. She paused, hesitating for a few moments. How that happened is something I'm not comfortable talking about yet. Why not? It's complicated. And it has to do with my family. Unsettling, huh? Yeah, it still is. Garnette couldn't help glancing around once more. She giggled. You wouldn't believe the adventures I've had in this cave. This cave? Alone? How? Well, let's see. I found 2 tunnels, although not at the same time. She pointed at the only tunnel they could see. If you go forward this way and look around carefully, you can find 2 holes. One leads to an area of a park not far from here. The other leads to passages near my uncle's castle. Whoa, you've got to be kidding! Her eyes grew as big as saucers. No joke, Ariel. And get this. I ended up using these tunnels to stop bad mermen. They wanted to kill my uncle. Ariel gasped. That's heavy. I know, right? It's why I come here more than I should to check on the cave's condition. She looked towards the tunnel. Thankfully, it looks good to me. What do you mean by that? Check the cave's condition? Oh, there are times when people lose things from above. I don't know how. Garnette shook her head. Anyways, it also helps to make sure no one knows about these tunnels. Otherwise, it's going to be easy to find out mermaids do exist. Uncle Adelaide does not want that to happen. I bet, she said, finally observing the cave to its fullest. Man, I didn't realize how big this cave is. How is it there's no air pocket in here? I have no idea. She thought for a minute. She then glanced around the cave grounds to find her shell. Garnette swam to the spot and picked it up, placing it against her ear. Hello? Jessie, Kelly. Can you hear me? Hello? What are you doing? You'll see, she said, winking at her. At that moment, the couple were playing a game of pool in the playroom. Kelly knocked the 6th ball in a corner pocket. She smiled as she counted what was left of all 15 pool balls. She had 3 left when her fiancé had 5 left. Kelly already knew where to hit the others, if Jessie didn't hit any of them while knocking his in the pockets. Your turn, sweetheart, and please hit whichever one you want. He thought while staring at his 5. He couldn't figure out which one to pocket. Jessie lowered a pool stick to the table and aimed. He pushed the stick to hit the cue ball, but deviated as he heard bubbling noises. The cue ball moved an inch slowly to the left. Dang it, he muttered. His fiancée giggled. Jessie looked around for the shell. Finding it near the pool table, he picked it up and placed it against his ear. Hello? Hey, Jessie, it's Garnette. Jessie smiled. Well, I know that. Who else would call us on a shell? Garnette giggled. I just wanted to let you and Kelly know that we're staying in the ocean tonight. She paused to look at Ariel. Her mermaid friend narrowed her brows. She's not comfortable enough to sleep at our house just yet. I bet I know why. All right, I'll tell Kelly the news. I'll see you tomorrow. They said their goodbyes and hung up. After that, she and her friend talked most of the night. It didn't take long for them to get sleepy. They curled up on each side of the tunnel entrance and fell asleep. Ariel groaned. She turned her head as the ocean waters hit against the rocky terrain below Virginia Beach's lighthouse. She groaned once more. I didn't realize how bright it would be in the morning, she mumbled. She opened her other eye and sat up. Ariel grunted as she stressed. Glancing around, she noticed Garnette was gone. Garnette? Garnette, where are you? She looked in the tunnel. I wonder. She swam further in and tried to look for the two big holes. She found the first one above her. She looked through it. Did she? Indeed she did. Ariel sighed as she reached for the sides and swam through the hole. She soon discovered the swim didn't last long. She glanced further up and saw a wooden ladder hanging. What's this? She whispered. Out of curiosity, she climbed up with just her arms. Ariel didn't break a sweat. All the years of ballet and belly dancing paid off. After reaching the top of the ladder, she followed the curved tunnel to its end. She pushed the wall decoration that covered its hole. Ariel was surprised to see a bare, spacious cave. She could almost hear talking as she crawled out of the tunnel's hole. The mermaid glanced around. Ariel saw a towel in a corner near the wall decoration. She took it and dried her tail. It didn't take long for her tail to shine brightly as it turned into a pair of legs. Ariel then walked toward the voices she heard. She realized something, though, before eavesdropping. Her brows narrowed in confusion. What is this? She thought. She saw a white curtain in front of her while she felt it. Why is there a curtain here? What is it for? Thanks for giving it back, a child spoke to Garnette. You're welcome, Garnette said with a smile. She gave him a caring look. Be careful around here, though. There are other strangers who are not like me. I know, the boy said. My mom taught me a rule. Stranger danger. You got a smart mom. He grinned as he skipped off. She glanced around while the boy left her area of the park. Garnette smiled faintly, remembering something from her childhood. She turned toward the cave. When she saw Ariel inside, she smiled once more. I wasn't sure if you would come up. What do you think? It's bare. Ariel looked at the curtain. What's this curtain for? That was my idea. My family and I agree that the cave should be kept secret. That no one needs to know where it is. She sighed softly. Well, I thought if the entrance couldn't be blocked without it being obvious, and without any mechanical stuff, then it would have to be something simple. The other side of it has rock formations that blend with the rest of the park. That's pretty smart. I know, right? Garnette grinned and then gasped. Oh, check this out. She walked to a closet that Badman had made before they got caught. She pulled out a ladder and placed it near the curtain. Climb up. Her friend gave her a certain look. Go on. Ariel reluctantly climbed the ladder. Now when you get to the top, you can see what kind of looks like a sill. There's something sticking out that you can pull. Ariel saw it and pulled out a block of rock, almost the size of a brick. There was a hole where she pulled the rock from. She peeked through. She could overlook a good portion of their area of the park. Whoa, that's cool, she whispered. And check this out. My aunt, Mom, and I worked on this one together, she said as Ariel climbed down. She followed Garnette back to where the wall decoration was. She then realized she missed a big wooden crate. Garnette pulled it away. Now up there, they saw what looked like steps. Leads to right below the lighthouse and looks over the ocean. She smiled. Amethyst and Mom helped me carve these steps. It was a lot of work. Certainly took a long time. We finished it just last week. Geez, you've done a lot since the change. I know. My uncle thinks I'm maturing too fast. She rolled her eyes. Considering what you've done, I believe him. Ariel giggled. Yeah, right. You know what I think? You haven't had a real adventure. A real adventure? You call traveling to Aquatica, finding my family, and saving the city from impending doom is not an adventure? Her friend shook her head. She groaned. Ugh. Besides, I don't have the time. And that is where I'm going to stop. This is where we see the pessimism of Garnette. Oh, so frustrating. It's so frustrating. But, you can kind of, oh, wait, do I really have it? Sorry, I had saw, like, some sort of snippet. I don't know if it's true or not. But I had seen some sort of video the other day about, human beings still evolving. Because I actually know a couple of people who have, like, this tendon that sticks out when they, bend their wrist and touch their fingers like this. You can see, like, this tendon that sticks out. I remember I had them when I was younger, but I guess I'm remembering incorrectly. I know a couple of people who have it, though. I don't seem to have it. Anyways, I think without it, it means I'm evolving from whatever human being I was born from. No, I remember. I don't know if that's true or not. Anyways, but anywho, for Halloween, I don't think I'm dressing up. Anyways, it's this year's been really off for me. I don't really know if I'm dressing or not. I don't know if I'm going to be uploading a vlog. If so, you'll probably already see it by now. If not, well, I apologize. Because originally, I had said in my previous video that I had uploaded last week that I was going to do like a little vlog on Halloween Day. I apologize if it's not up. Just because, a lot's been going on these past few months. I've been trying to get caught up with, financially and socially, as well as all the internet stuff, because I've been so far behind because I've had to move twice this year in the same building. So frustrating. I'm losing my mind. Boy. But, I'm actually really excited. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention. If you are a local person, if you're watching this video, from my hometown, I don't know if I told you guys this, but I'm from Columbia, Missouri. Here in town, me and my family were in a band together called Pop Fiction. I'll have it right here. Called Pop Fiction. And we're performing at a place called, gosh dang it, I've already forgot the name of the place. Catfish Katie's, I think it's called. We're performing this Saturday. The event is happening from 1 to 4 o'clock, I believe, in Central Time Zone. I don't know specifically when. I think we're going to be performing from 1 to 2:15. I'm not entirely positive. But we got a lot of songs, and thankfully we can do covers. Because at Cooper's Landing, we can't do covers, unfortunately. But it's pretty cool, though, because we get to sing originals as well. Yes! Because I co-wrote one of those songs with my dad. That song is actually here on my channel. You can find it. It's called You and I Have Love. It's a beautiful song. Anyways, I think that's it for now. Because I'm kind of in a rush. I apologize if the after talking is shorter than the first part of this video. Anywho, I have to let you all go. So I hope you all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. I am the Esperanza 3. Signing out. Bye!